Josh was an awesome young kid. He was always a surprise, full of energy, combative, competitive, kind and thoughtful. He was fun to be with. He always raised the energy in the room. He still does. In terms of what we taught Josh and what was most important, I'm inclined to say it was just a way of life, not a specific value, but a specific way of being part of community, that you were, I guess it's that part of the whole, and always to look beyond yourself.
Service was a big part of, my family's lives, and certainly mine. My sisters and brother and I observed watching my parents, who were very socially active and volunteering in our community. And that was, sometimes our social element of our life was going to do service. And then, as I always say, actively contemplating afterwards with others growing up. My mother was trained working in labs, and so she worked with a lot of nurses, and there was a group of women from our area that went down to Haiti. And so they would go down different times of the year, and she would go on trips with them. And then when she was down there, she started seeing there's a lot of opportunity for others to help. And so she decided, well, I can bring my kids down to help here too. They could, do things for the nurses and support them. And so we started going down to Haiti in the summer for, there were trips, my sisters and I, and ultimately my brother, 2 to 4 weeks in the summer. And then that other people heard about it in our parish and then our high school. And so my mother started running trips for larger groups, and we would raise money. And then when we were there, we would stay in a home for homeless boys. And we lived in this shelter that was for homeless boys. And so you lived as they lived, and so you slept on concrete.
The way Iskali, identified Josh is we want to recognize a leader, inspirational figure in the community that is making a difference in people's lives. When we came to the name of Josh and what he does for the Latino community in Chicago and the inner city, we said, we need to pay attention here, because what Josh has done over the last 25 years for Los Niños Latinos in Chicago is significant, it's important, it needs to be recognized.
My first impression of Josh, I suppose, was a good one. I mean, the guy has an infectious personality that it's easy to like him. So you knew almost instantly when you met him that he's the right person for the next development director at that time for Cristo Rey Jesuit High School. Yeah, I liked him immediately.
The qualities that I admire in Josh Hale, I think about it a lot, is his ability to relate to many different people at many different levels. The work that he does with the executives of the biggest companies in Chicago it's work that's very daunting for me. I watch him as he introduces me to some of these executives. It's like he's just introducing him to a friend. But then when he comes to a school like this, or to our school at St. Francis de Sales, and he interacts with the students, it's like he's their age. He just gets down to their level and starts talking with them. And it all comes from just his love, his love for the future of the students of the schools in the city of Chicago. My school would be closed if it weren't for Joe. Back in, I forgot what year it was, 2006, I got a call from the Archdiocese and like, hey, we're going to have to talk about the future of the school. I know what the conversation was about. And I called Josh and I said, hey, I thought I should tell you that I'm going in for this meeting. He's like, what day and what time? I'm like, well, it's whatever the date was. He's like, see you there. So I show up to the meeting, and we sat at the table with the chief financial officer, and Josh helped me weave through a conversation with the Archdiocese to put together a plan for the future of St. Francis de Sales.
Josh is genuinely one of the most selfless people that I've met. A leader who cares about his team and the school, and someone who really changes lives. I know that if it wasn't for Josh and his incredible team, I wouldn't have a job that I love doing, and so many schools would be closed. So many children's lives would be affected. Families, including my own. So his impact and the impact of Big Shoulders Fund, we'll just continue to see the ripple effects.
Josh really transformed Big Shoulders Fund from an organization that really was simply around to provide some passive support to schools to one that has taken on an active, engaged role. I think that a lot of that has to do with Josh's belief that there's always a way, that there is a path that we can find, that we can make new ways of being if it is for the benefit of the students that we seek to serve.
Organizations like Iscali and Big Shoulders Fund and so many other organizations that pull people together around a mission are critically important to community, to our city, our state, our nation, our world. But I think more than anything that they pull us towards something and are better angels, that we rally around a cause and push ourselves to go further. And I look at the energy that Iscali has generated in such a short time relative to when it was founded to what it's doing now, that there was a hunger for that community, that kinship, that partnership to affect change in the most positive way. And I think in the case of Iscali and Big Shoulders Fund, that's only just begun. And what I love both about them is that one of my favorite sayings is para los niños. It's about the future. It's for the kids. How do we lift up children to better our world? When I think about my own personal mission, there's a part of me when I reflect on my life and where I am and maybe what I call it to do. My plan was more of observing and taking in and watching others, and also how that made me feel along the way. And so experiences with my mom, going to Haiti and siblings and living overseas 2 years in community in the Marshall Islands, the Marshallese, and working at Cristo Rey and living at the school at first and working were places where I felt like it was part of a positive change. And that Big Shoulders Fund, I feel like I found that as well. That personal mission is to find a place or places where I could be part of a team that was all moving in the same direction. And I love the idea of being part of a mission that is totally focused on working with and partnering with others to fight for justice and peace.
I think Josh is committed to providing opportunities for niños and underserved communities, and I think that's going to be his legacy. I don't see Josh stopping anytime soon. I think he's going to continue to do that and ensuring that more and more niños have the opportunity that they deserve.
Nobody cares about this city more than Josh. Every day we read the newspaper, we read Twitter, and people just keep on throwing stuff about the cycle of violence and poverty in the city of Chicago. And they throw their hands up and they say, what the hell are we going to do about this cycle of poverty and violence? On the east side where we grew up, people are like, oh, it's getting out of hand. But nobody steps their foot forward to say, hey, I want to be part of the solution. Well, I think the solution to the cycle of poverty and violence in the city of Chicago is education, and that is being led on the front lines by Josh and the Big Shoulders Fund. So the future for Josh Hale is being the solution for the problems that we have in our city.
Josh, you're a doer and a shaker, and Chicago is a different place. The Catholic Church in Chicago is a different place because of you.
So, Josh, thank you for being you, for being that person you have become. I'm so proud of you, so happy. I need to acknowledge while we're here, too, that thank you for choosing Virginia to be part of our family and to bring those wonderful sons into our lives. We love you and can't wait to spend more time with you in the years ahead. Thank you.
Josh, we're so proud of you, Charlie, Tommy, and I, and everybody, and you are, as your mom so eloquently said, an inspiration to us all every day.
The only thing I will tell Josh is, in the name of the Latino community and all you do for us, thank you.